Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Blackout. New Providence residents suffer through a hellish night thanks to BPL. Man shot dead in Bimini, body found at a marina. And another man found stabbed to death. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, August 16th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Also this morning, we'll be talking about immersion at iDiscover Village. We'll tell you what that is all about this weekend. And later in business, there's a VAT holiday and VAT amnesty period coming up. We're going to talk with the Department of Inland Revenue about that and other tax issues in our 9 o'clock business hour. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, New Providence residents hit with widespread outages across the island from late last night till well into the morning. Some might even still be off. BPL issuing a statement on Facebook saying they were experiencing an extended outage in the Old Fort Bay area due to an underground cable fault and that the team was working on repairs. But they said that due to the nature of the repairs, they anticipated service to be restored by later in the day, but of course it just got worse from there. They said teams were working to assess the status of units that tripped offline, resulting in power losses in several areas in New Providence, and that they had started to work on restoring customers, but the process was long and continued for hours. Some still complaining. Early into the morning, they were not restored as yet. We'll have more on that later in this program. Police busy throughout the country. A man found shot to death at Fisherman's Village Marina in Bimini. Officers found the body of a 32-year-old victim around noon. Police were looking for a 28-year-old man who was a person of interest in the case. The marina is part of the Luxury Resorts World Bimini property. Loved ones on social media identified the deceased as James Sands, a former Abaco resident who celebrated his birthday last week. MP for West Grand Bahama and Bimini Kingsley Smith said the killing does not help the island's reputation, considering Bimini prides itself as being a gateway to the Bahamas. Here in New Providence, the body of a man who was stabbed and bound found in waters near Stewart Coves in the southern part of the island. Police saying that officers found that man submerged in waters near an abandoned building. EMS was contacted, and they were able to retrieve the body from the water. But officers noted the man had multiple stab wounds and was bound by the hands and feet. Police say the man appeared to be in his mid to late 20s. And they were actively investigating this matter, but if you have any information, you're asked to contact police. And a day after expressing that the Grand Bahama Port Authority, under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, is the regulator for electricity in Freeport and not IRCA, opposition leader Michael Pintard told the Nassau Guardian that this matter is one for the courts to decide, and action remains outstanding in the Supreme Court regarding the rights of the GBPA under the HCA to regulate the electricity sector. The Grand Bahama Power Company, GBPC, has challenged IRCA's authority to license and regulate it. Pintard says yesterday that the courts will decide who the regulator is, but he says their focus remains on relieving the financial and social burdens on Grand Bahama. The opposition leader released a statement in an effort to shift the focus from the issue of which entity is the regulator for Freeport to the opposition's disapproval of the effort to increase rates. Overseas, international diplomacy to prevent the war in Gaza from spreading into a wider conflict intensified today, with the British and French foreign ministers making a joint trip to Israel while international mediated ceasefire talks in Qatar were expected to enter their second day. The new push for an end to the Israel-Hamas war coming as the Palestinian death toll in Gaza climbed past 40,000, according to Gaza health authorities. Fears remain high that Iran and Hezbollah militants in Lebanon would attack Israel in retaliation for the killings of top militant leaders. British Foreign Secretary David Lammy calling it a dangerous moment for the Middle East. He said, quote, "The risk of the situation spiraling out of control is rising. Any Iranian attack would have devastating consequences for the region." Lammy and the French Foreign Minister Stéphanie Séjourné were expected to hold a joint meeting with Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz and Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer. International mediators believe the best hope for calming tensions would be a deal between Israel and Hamas to halt the fighting and secure the release of Israeli hostages. The United States, Qatar, and Egypt began a new round of talks Thursday, meeting with an Israeli delegation in Qatar. And Hurricane Ernesto strengthening into a Category 2 storm Thursday night as it barreled toward Bermuda after leaving hundreds of thousands of people in Puerto Rico without power or water. Sweltering heat enveloped the U.S. territory, raising concerns about people's health. A hurricane warning in effect for Bermuda, with Ernesto expected to pass near or over the island Saturday. Ernesto is forecast to possibly reach Category 3 strength today and then weaken as it approaches Bermuda, where it's forecast to drop 6 to 12 inches, with up to 15 inches in isolated areas. Ernesto is then expected to pass near or east of Atlantic Canada on Monday. Meanwhile, the spinning storm on Thursday was generating southern winds in Puerto Rico, which have a heating effect as opposed to the typical cooling trade winds that blow from the east. More than 204 million customers remained in the dark Thursday evening, more than a day after Ernesto swiped past Puerto Rico late Tuesday as a tropical storm before strengthening into a hurricane. A maximum of 735,000 clients had been without power Wednesday. Hundreds of thousands were also without water, as many questioned the widespread power outage, given that Ernesto was only a tropical storm when it spun past the island. In sports, in a groundbreaking development for Bahamian cricket, Mark Taylor has been drafted to the Miami Lions cricket team for the Max 60 International T10 tournament set to take place in the Cayman Islands. It's the first time any cricket player from the Bahamas has been recognized and selected for the tournament. The event kicks off today and promises to feature world-class cricketers, making it a significant milestone for cricket in the Bahamas. President of the Bahamas Cricket Association, Greg Taylor, sharing his excitement and pride during a press conference yesterday, noting that cricket has been struggling for a long time here. So he says having a player recognized by the international organizations and being selected is amazing. You can read more about this and the significance of it in today's Guardian Sports section. The NBA schedule has been released, and a number of highlights. Boston will get its championship rings on October 22nd, and the rival New York Knicks will be there for the celebration. That schedule released Thursday for the upcoming season, with Game 1 on the slate, in the Celtics hosting the Knicks on opening night, the one where the NBA champions will get their rings and reveal their 18th championship banner. The second game on opening night has Minnesota visiting the LA Lakers, a reunion of Olympic gold medalists, with the Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards facing off with the Lakers' LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The league released 1,200 of the 1,230 games on the schedule yesterday. The other 30 will be slotted in December, depending how teams are faring during the NBA Cup. The schedule for those tournament games was released Tuesday, with Klay Thompson's return to Golden State as a member of the Dallas Mavericks among the matchups. Some regular season contests were previously announced, such as Miami and Washington playing in Mexico City on November 2nd, and the San Antonio Spurs and Indiana Pacers playing a home-and-home in Paris, with Spurs star and France's native Victor Wembanyama as the main attraction on January 23rd and 25th. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Got your first look at weather for today. We've got a frontal boundary across northwest Bahamas that's going to support a few showers and thunderstorms across the area, while a weak ridge of high pressure will dominate weather across the rest of the country. Swells generated by Hurricane Ernesto, well northeast of the Bahamas, will still impact the islands, mainly along the Atlantic exposures, and that's going to make for hazardous boating and beaching conditions. Got another hot day in store, another heat advisory, and UV indices will range from high to extreme. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities and wear sunscreen. So, as we said, hazardous boating and beaching conditions expected. Advise strongly to avoid entering Atlantic waters due to moderate to large easterly swells and dangerous rip currents. And motorists and pedestrians should be extra cautious while traveling along coastal roads, especially East Atlantic coastal roads and the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. We're expecting overtopping waves and coastal flooding. So that's a lot going on. Your forecast for today for the northwest and central Bahamas: a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid conditions with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Fair conditions tonight with a passing shower or two possible. Small craft advisory in effect for Atlantic waters. Boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet locally and in sheltered areas, building up to 6 to 9 feet in Atlantic exposures in northeast to easterly swells. For the southeast Bahamas today, partly mostly sunny, hot, with a chance of spotty showers, becoming mostly fair and warm tonight. Small craft advisory in effect for Atlantic waters. Boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. Wind southwest to west at 10 knots, becoming northwest to north during the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet locally and in sheltered areas, but building up to 6 to 9 feet in Atlantic exposures in northeast to easterly swells. Temperature-wise today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But again, that heat index is going to make it feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook. And look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Back to school is around the corner. Move to the top of the class with this amazing Scotiabank Back to School credit card offer. You could win your share of prize money valuing $10,000 when you spend $150 or more on any Scotiabank credit card to purchase books, uniforms, technology items, or other academic items. 10 lucky customers will each win $2,000 in cash back towards their purchases. Promotion runs July 12th through September 30th, 2024. Drawing date is Friday, October 11th, 2024.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Summer may be ending, but the party is just getting started at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss our Summerfest All-Star Bahamian Concert on Saturday, August 17th at the Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater. Enjoy electrifying performances by Abby, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxie, The Mighty Pencil, Chad Colley and the VIPs, Blotty, and more. Best of all, it's free. Gates open at 4 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Grab your crew, bring your vibes, and let's end this summer in true Bahamian style.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about an event this weekend, Immersion at iDiscover Village. We get details about what that is all about. And then later in business, there's a VAT holiday coming up, and we'll get details about that from the Department of Inland Revenue. What do you need to know this morning? That's all ahead. But right now, let's talk about what's in the news. And in the news, just want to mention this quickly because, this place is like a mobster movie. You've got just murder and mayhem everywhere. A man shot dead in Bimini at a resort, right there in front of everybody in the middle of the day. And police say they're looking for a 28-year-old person of interest, but the man in Bimini, family members have identified him as James Sands, a former Abaco resident who was there dead at Fisherman's Village on Resorts World Bimini's property. And then in New Providence, a man found, this is an assassination. He was bound at the arms and legs, found in waters near Stewart Cove. So that's a hit. So, yeah, that's how we're living in 2024 in this place. But what most people want to talk about is the hellish night that most of us had here in New Providence, thanks to BPL, and this massive blackout, and not necessarily island-wide, but a good, massive portions of the island impacted. I think it's so bad that I believe that might be the reason why our phone lines are blinking like this. You think, Mr. Producer, that BPL's responsible? I don't know who to blame, but we're going to blame BPL. Why not? Our phones aren't working, folks. We're going to see if we can get that up and running because we're going to vent. All of us are going to vent this morning about this. I suspect BPL's jealous that we were talking about GBPC so much and it didn't get attention. And they were like, we want to show you something. Don't forget who we are. That must be it. This texter, yeah, I think you're right. You did this, Dwight. You attempted this. You were talking about how your powers have been off for weeks. I'm an idiot. I will never speak of it again. Never. But yes, I have no one. I don't know what I was doing. This is like Beetlejuice. You just don't say it. Man. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk what happened. So the Tribune has an article on this blackout. New Providence hit by power outage as generators trip. Residents across New Providence experienced power outages. Did we do in the news? Yeah, we did, right? We did in the news. We signed. I don't remember. I'm so caught up with stuff. Yes, we did. Residents across New Providence experienced power outages around 9 p.m. last night after two generators at BPL's Clifton Pier station tripped. Some reported intermittent power outages. BPL Communications Manager Arnett Ingram said the outage affected several areas, including eastern New Providence and predominantly the western part of the island. Okay. She said BPL planned to add more. What now? A recent audit by IRCA recommended that BPL reduce the frequency and duration of power outages by 40% and 60% respectively to meet regulatory standards. What am I reading? They recommended that they reduce the frequency and duration of power outages. Is it intentional? And they're like, you all need to bring this down. I mean, you had to say this. You all should have fewer power outages, BPL. Oh, we never thought about that. Yeah, it's a good idea. The transfer of new... Okay, I don't read it. Okay, so online, and that's what I'm going to do this morning, especially if our phones don't come up. I'm going to read everybody's comments on BPL's Facebook page because I can't think of anything better to do than to let you all hear just how much this ruined everybody's night. So we're going to go back to the first announcement of a problem. And there's a lot of hilarious comments and some very sad. So this one, our team is currently assessing the status of units that tripped offline, resulting in power losses in several areas of New Providence. We're working to bring additional units online. And they said, we have started to restore supply to customers affected by tonight's outage. Supply has been restored to PMH as well as East Hill Street. Restoration will continue throughout the night. Our team is working through a major transmission fault on our network. And it said that customers in Chippingham, West Bay, Arawak, Key, Saunders Beach, etc. were back online. Well, there were 1,000 comments to this as they kept updating people. I'm just going to read some. Y'all are killing my refrigerator. That's one. A Caribbean country running entirely on diesel generators in 2024 because the government wants to keep their white friends rich is crazy. And I don't know what that's about because I'm sure plenty of white people are like, who? What? Us? How? How do we get in this? But it doesn't make sense for me to complain because in 2 years, all these people who are complaining are going to be lined off in their yellow and red shirts voting one of their parties back in again for another 5 years after 51 years of blackouts. And then someone trying to explain to him that, you know, what white people you're talking about here, because some of them are suffering too, and it's probably all manner of people of all races, so don't bring race up into this foolishness. And then this person says, I hope you all are compensating people when our appliances fail. This is ridiculous. It's cheaper that it stays off and fix the problem, lady. Speak for yourself. And then the light dipping in and out. I mean, I'm sure that was frustrating for that to be happening because this is going to kill the appliances such as refrigerators, microwaves, etc. The bill better be skipped for this month or credited. Don't hold your breath. All right, so the phone lines appear to be working. So let's see, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. How bad was it for you last night? What time did it come on for you this morning? Are you still off? Let us know. This person says here, what in the nation, BPL? The power in the South is going off and on repeatedly in South Beach. Yeah, that was happening. A lot of people, I saw that. A lot of people saying it's on and off and on and off and on and off. Yeah. My God. What did we do to deserve this? What did we do? This person says, hey, can y'all please stop turning the power off and on in Bamboo Town? It's going to damage people's appliances. Please. Y'all buy these generators off Marketplace. Hey, that was somebody's text. That was a good one. This is the same notice from 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Boy. Oh, boy. This person says, listen, it's too hot for y'all to be playing with people's power. I think for every minute it's off, something should come off your bill. This person says, simple basic necessities can't be provided for. Just disgusting and disgraceful after 51 years. This other one, what if we all just decided not to pay the bills? What would happen? Serious question. That's a good one. My light bill doubled for no reason, and my light's been off more times these last couple of weeks than ever. This is wild. This is a hurtful text. Best country in the world, best power company, best government, best Olympic team, best health care, best roads, best infrastructure, best everything. That's the heat and the frustration talking there. And, oh, boy, that's rough. Making Facebook statuses instead of turning my power back on. Well, you know, we want to be kept informed, but and it's not going to be the same people doing one or the other, right? So, in fact, there could have been more information. This person says, here, caller, we'll get to you in a second. This person says, this is serious. My power is in and out since 8:30 last night. It's staying on for less than a minute. Please, for safety reasons, keep it off until the situation is resolved. South Beach and Pinewood. And then there were people who were being unreasonable, thinking that it was intentional. I don't know. If y'all are being playful in all this heat, if playful in all this heat was a company, it would be BPL. Current off, and then the meters are still running. Watch these bills. I'd mind it off, just y'all can't be cutting people light on and off 10 times in the space of 15 minutes. Yeah, that must have been terrifying. Let's go to the calls and we'll pick this up because there's a whole lot more fascinating messages I want you to hear. Good morning, you're on the air.
Grand rising to you, Dwight.
Same to you. How did BPL do you last night?
Dwight, it was terrible, man. My neighbors, I live in the Carmichael Road, Cowpen Road district, right? In between that area right there, right? And the light went off around 9, and it came back on in a second, and it went back off in 5 minutes, and it came. At least put 4 to 5 times, right, before it went off until because my kids and my neighbors down was outside, tell around about 1, 2 o'clock this morning before they came inside, and then the light came back on around. I might have dropped off after that. But it was late before the light came on this morning, right? And, what it reminds me, Dwight, in the 80s, right? I don't know if you remember in the 80s when we used to have all of these light, all these cutting off of the light. It got so normal that we expected the light to be off, right? But how is a country was supposed to be moving in a development age, right? It seems like we are retracting, or we ain't growing. We are moving away from the goal of growing a nation and making it sustainable, especially when it comes to the electricity and the water. This problem is affecting the whole entire archipelago, go, Dwight. Because all of these equipments what we have in this country, all of them need to be thrown inside the garbage, man. Because the world is moving away from fossil fuels, fuel, but our leaders don't want to move away from that for some strange reason. I can emphasize strange, right? Because we have all of the we have like solar system available in this world to lessen the current and make it more less pollution, right? We have the sea where we could get electricity from the currents from the moment. We have the air. There's so much things that we could get electricity from rather than where we getting it from now. It's ludicrous, right? So that's why I had to emphasize strange, right? Because what type of leaders wouldn't want the better for? It's like you have kids and you want them to suffer. What type of leader don't want the best for their people, man? It's like every government we put in power only try to make it worse for us, man. It's crazy, man. And so I'm just going to encourage my BM people to let's make this the last time this happening to us, man. Because our kids can't fight this battle. Our kids can't fight the PLP and the FNM in the next 10, 15 years because they're not interested in making no serious change in this country, man. This reminds me when I went to Cat Island, I told you a couple of weeks ago, and on a festive occasion, the current off, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay. And we live in a place where we shouldn't even have to be relying on these antiquated fossil fuel system, man. If we had leaders who had vision and had love for the Bahamian people, right? Yeah. Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot. All right. I don't know if we can question their choices. Absolutely. I think with the BPL matter, each administration tries to do something, but they're often, well, as we've seen, voted out of office and the next administration does something totally different. So we don't know if the plan that they put in place was going to work in the long term and bring us the relief that was promised, because it's starting from scratch with a whole bunch of people, new people, a whole board. And it's so you don't know. And that's a very bad position to be in. And you end up stuck in the same place where you were years ago. Caller, we'll get back to you in a second. This texter on this is, again, reading from BPL's Facebook page, the amazing comments from people. And we'll get to the text messages coming in here in a bit. But this is the people in it last night suffering. And this texter said, this is no joking matter. Everyone's appliances that were damaged needs to line up by BPL first thing in the morning with their damaged goods. Well, will it happen? Will it happen? This texter says, BPL, 3 years ago, we lost a stove, refrigerator, washer, dryer, microwave, and still waiting on compensation. This company is incompetent. We need to wake up and hold BPL accountable in this country. I mean, BPL? Okay, yeah. I mean, it's... Or your elected officials. That one. I think that one might be more effective. The elected officials and the previously elected officials. Yeah. But sure, let's call it BPL. This person says here's always something, but when they come to cut your light off, no one hearing nothing. This consideration, the consideration you want us, the customers, to have, we would like the same consideration to be placed on us. Make it make sense. Another texter, corruption contributed greatly to this company's dysfunction and stagnation for decades. It's scornful. This one here, not mindful, not demure at all, BPL. You're all going to beat that one into the ground, hey? So unit stripping has the power going in and out for the last hour? Make it make sense. My power has gone on and off 10 times since 9 p.m. Another person, power already dipped out 8 times tonight. And I have my funds ready to replace my televisions, AC, refrigerator, PlayStation. Wow. Yeah, this person at 1:17 a.m. The East is still off, specifically Eastern residents at 1:17 a.m., 17 minutes past what you indicated in Update 3. Make it make sense this time, please. The power is still off. Is this intentionally? When will it come on? This one says we need to stop paying electricity bills for the poor service we receive every single day. Another text, if my appliances get damaged, am I going to send BPL the bill? Because the light keeps going on and off every 20 minutes. Please resolve whatever the issue is now, because it's a safety issue. Sudden on and off electricity. It's really too hot for this all night now. Ridiculous. More people asking for compensation. More people on and on about that. So that, again, that's 1,000 comments on that post. And then there was another one where we're making steady progress. And that got about 400 people commenting on it, telling people we don't know what you're talking about because we're still off. Pinewood off again, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Got to be 30 times now, and the beat goes on. Now we all have power anxiety, afraid to do anything or turn on anything. They have us playing Beat the Clock. Our poor appliances have to even unplug the toothbrush. It's going to be one of the first ones to go. This texter said, the entire East is still off, and it seems as if you all are focusing on the West. Another texter, hardly any steady supply, but the light bill is still doubled. Another one, 30 times. That's how much my power's been on and off. Don't act crazy when people come with their destroyed appliances. This texter, you all better be prepared to reimburse or buy every consumer's appliance back. You all messed up this evening. Just how you all don't hesitate to turn people off. You better don't hesitate when it's time to give the people something back. My goodness. And it went on and on and on. And every time they posted something, just more angry comments. This texter here, it's clear as day that you all are no longer restoring power at this point. Why is it that the entire Pinewood suffered with unstabilized power, not to mention we're one of the first without power, and in the end, we are the last to be restored? It's almost 4 a.m., and this is the epitome of inhumane. This company needs to be thrown out of this country. This text is so heartless, knocking off from work, no traffic lights, no street lights, driving on the road is a risk at how dark it is. Come home for the rest of the evening to rest for work the next morning and can't even do that. From 9 p.m. to 1:40 without power is ridiculous. And my gosh. And on and on. And then there was I think this was earlier in the day, a completely unrelated thing about how they're hiring. They had vacancies and people put their complaints there too. I think somebody wrote, how about y'all, why don't y'all hire solar energy? How about that? That was a great one. And what are we going to do, folks? What are we going to do? Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead. Call us back. I know it was running on for a bit, but this is the frustration. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Okay, we've got a lot of your text messages. We'll get to those in a bit. Continue to send them. Call in, tell us about it, and let's talk about this. And this is just practically midsummer. We've got a whole of September to go. And again, I keep telling people, it doesn't matter what season it is. This stuff happens with BPL. Good morning, caller. What say you?
Good morning, Dwight. I suffer from the same fate. Dwight, this situation is so grave that it started from the early 80s. We've been suffering this now for over 2 generations. In particular, in Luther, a disaster. Well, and there's no need for it because we have at the extreme north, you have enough current running through Luther can power itself, Care Island, and maybe an additional island. This is crazy. We don't need this fossil fuel garbage. You understand me?
Yeah.
This is beyond one can be. Last night I tried to rest for work in the morning. It wasn't until 2 a.m. I got up 9 o'clock. I thought, I said, boy, something must be true. I checked everybody in the neighborhood outside the home. I said, my goodness, you mean cut off? It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is beyond. People must stand up. Don't just send a few voice note or voice your differences on there. We need to demand that we have a better Bahamas. When is it going to get better?
Thank you very much. Excellent questions. We're all asking the same today. All asking the same. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, Dwight. How you doing, Seattle Johnson?
Hi.
Can I take you to the beginning again?
No, we painfully all know. We just want to know when will it end? When will it end?
It will end when an administration comes to you, gives you the full details of the $2 billion overhaul. The problem is that when you consider the $1 billion or maybe up to $2 billion in legacy debt, no administrations in the past seems to want to be the one to take the responsibility for just simply adding it to the national debt and coming up with a strategy that takes into the reality the needs of the 21st century. Every time technology doubles in 18 months, so does the need for capacity. And so unless we find a way to avoid further evolution into the 21st century, we have no choice but to adopt. Now, Dwight, I want you to consider, we haven't even embraced the 21st century the way we need to, the digitization and such, which takes us 90% of electricity. Everything that you hear these administrations say, green economy, blue economy, orange economy, data economy, digital economy, aquamarine economy, every single one of them is 90% energy dependent. We are in need of a smart grid, an evaluation of capacity, generation capacity, now and into the future. But here's what happens, Dwight. Just use what they are doing with BPL or BEC, whatever name they want to call it right now. No one has came with a strategy to reduce capacity, load capacity. We're simply trying to say we're going to get more generation, and put it on a grid that wasn't able to handle the generation from 20 years ago. So we are now doubling capacity of the need for generation, and we have not replaced the grid that wasn't designed for this capacity. We put patches on these substations and whatever else. We're losing electricity. We're not delivering it in a profound way. But here's what happens, Dwight. If the government comes up with a strategy for reducing consumption, whether it be electricity, insulation of your homes, changing your water heaters, changing your appliances, sealing your windows, everything, you could reduce the need of capacity of the legacy environment, which is the homes and other things that we have. But then we will also have a strategy for this new grid build out. And I put to you, it'll be over a decade in achieving it. The Pike and the rest of them, if they are honest, they would tell you the patching they're doing is not a new grid system. Mm-hmm. That is buying buckets for what we have. Wow. We basically need to rip out the entire system and put one back in. Okay. But we need to have an honest conversation of where we are and where we need to be. Something we're not having, which you have as fabulous celebrities trying to prepare to audition again for the next play where they get to pretend in the House of Assembly that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot. All right. 6 more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to my beloved Bahamas and Bahamians. Lend me your ear. They said we must exercise some equanimity, that's calmness and composure in a difficult situation. But we Bahamians, we used the ASU, right?
Okay.
Time immemorial, right? Paying an ASU, right?
Mm.
Hey, Dwight?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we hear about like the credit union and cooperative this and that. What we have to do, and this for Bahamians in the islands, in the settlements, is get in a cooperative group, because to help BPL and to help ourselves is we have to collectively, in small groups or small communities or whatever, pool our resources, because if everybody, let me just tell you an example. I had a girlfriend that lives in Ari Cooper Estate. You know where that is? Right there by Baptist Bible College,
right.
James Street.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
North of James Street. There's about 50-something to 60 homes in that little subdivision. And I told her it was like in 2013 or 20. We're not together now. But I said, why don't you all get together and form a cooperative? And everybody pool like an ASU. Everybody throw, I say $50, $30, whatever a week. And that's like ASU. And that's cooperating. And what you do is you buy solar. 1 week it'll be, 2 weeks it'll be somebody that's going to get the solar panels and they're going to get it installed. But at the end of the day, everybody will be reduced, because that's not going to kill you if you sacrifice $30 a week, right?
Depends.
Huh?
It depends, but mm-hmm.
You see, that's what we need to do, because to help each other, we got to help ourselves. And see, Alan just said it. It's about reducing the load on the capacity of BEC or BP or whatever they call it, because back in the 70s, early 70s, we never used to have this kind of early 70s, all kind of BEC being cut off. So we as Bahamians and everybody in communities, settlements and everything come together in groups and start helping each other pool the resources, because the Chinese 40-foot container with solar panels and inverters will take care of everything, because will help, because in the daytime the sun when you get in with God, the Lord give it and the government take it away. We're blessed with that energy, natural energy through the day to provide energy to our homes and to help BPL out in the day. I can't say.
Well, I mean, I hear you, and if you have neighbors that good, work it out. Yes, but the language of helping BPL out, yeah, blank that. Right, but you got to do it for yourself. Yes, we're not here to help them. They have not been helping us, but you got to do it if you can do it. If you can do it on your own, for the love of God, do it. Do whatever you need to do to not be suffering like this. A few more calls before we take a break. Good morning, you're on the air. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, well, let's look on the bright side. BTC, throughout the power outage, they were able to keep the network up and running. And I feel sorry for those who weren't able to appreciate the fact that you could have access to energy without BPL. But, Dwight, look at it this way. Here it is. We have members of parliament that we elect who clearly tell you that they swear their allegiance to some foreign entity, all right, to another system other than us. And if they keep telling you this, why don't you believe them? And let me tell you what Chris is going to get. They swear to the heirs and successors. Now, last time I checked, Jack Hayward and them and those persons who were the Port Authority, they are heirs to King Charles. How are you going to sue your colonial masters when you are saying every time, I swear my allegiance to you? And then how are you going to also use their Privy Council to judge them if you fail in the lower court?
I mean, that's
you see how ludicrous we are, right?
I hear you. It's a bit of a stretch, but I hear you. You mean you're implying some serious things there, and I don't know. I think those folks are a little more reasonable in their judgments than what you're suggesting, but I hear you. Okay. And a couple more calls. Yeah. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. Dwight, listen, man. It's an understatement with what people are saying, how much the light went off last night. It's like a child was playing with the light last night. I mean, my light must have went off at least 15 times in the space of 30 minutes. Off and on, off and on, off and on. And then it finally went off, and it did not come back on until after 4.
Wow.
But Dwight, to me, I called a friend of mine who worked at BPL, and he told me yesterday morning they had a serious meeting. So it seemed like somebody was intensely playing with the light, like they're intensely trying to burn up people's appliances and stuff to get some mass crazy thing going.
I mean, that's a wild claim. I mean, who had a meeting? What type of meeting?
He said that he's a part of the union and he worked for BPL, and he told me they had a serious meeting yesterday.
Okay.
Because I call him. I normally call them when I have light issue down in the back of Marshall Road, and it concerned me because these people don't understand that we are them, they are us. And if that is the case, if the union is doing
let's not even
like
put that out there. We know that they are challenged with their equipment, and anything could happen with the stuff they're working with. But wow. All right, a couple messages before we go to the break. Yeah, this person says, I live in the South. The power in the area went out 16 times. BPL is a disgrace. This texter here, my light tripped about 10 times in South Beach. My BTC phone line is also off. These are the times. This person says that the heat after the blackout last night was unbearable. BPL, BEC, whatever you are inept, simply inept. This person says there isn't Pike now in control of transmission. What's their responsibility in all of this? Or are we, the public, to forget about this new entity? Well, they're on the ground. I don't know what that means. The trucks are driving around. I don't know. This person says, you all are trying to do this to Freeport. You all trying to turn Freeport Power into BPL. I don't know what you are talking about, but GBPC is having their own issues, according to our friends up in Grand Bahama, with much more frequent outages as well. Well, apparently the people of the Bahamas don't deserve electricity. No matter what island you're on, you're not good enough for power to stay on more than a few days. So just get that. Whatever your power company is called, power means something different to them than it does to you. So keep that in mind. This texter says here, the country went backwards in every way in the last 3 years. Well, 3 years or 3 decades? I don't know which one you mean. Keep cutting things off, BPL. Nasuvians are too comfy in the slackers and corruption that brought us where we are with BPL and people we put in charge. Now, all you get is crying about how bad it was and is, and you're still going to pay, still not going to protest. So you really think anyone at BPL or the government really cares? When you're hard-head, you feel. The outer islands have been telling you, and yet you still can't unite. Let's pick this up on the other side. We got something new from Solo, I guess inspired by the horrible situation last night, this morning. Let's be real, this morning in New Providence, and we'll be back, folks.
Boy, BPL, you all cool, eh? I mean, people scrap up to get this money. Now you rush pay y'all still cut people off. Y'all put the company in a whole next company hand, and y'all still cutting people light off. All of it. And then y'all want to talk about sorry for the inconvenience cost? Oh, BPL, you're wrong. From little while y'all been back down. Keep cutting people light off and on. Me pay my bill in full, no sir. Company don't give a damn. The generator still back down. That's the light bill sky high now. Ooh, sacrifice and buy your solar system and get off the grid now. This is what I wanna know. Why y'all keep cutting people light on and off? When I go home, you're messing up my stuff. And when I tell you about it, then you act dumb. Got people home in darkness. What we going through is a bunch of foolishness. It's like we paying y'all to never get it fixed. It's like we paying y'all to hear y'all talk anyway. This right here, this is frustrating. Supposed to be saving, supposed to be cussing, but y'all keep trying to press all my buttons. And when the button jam, this is what happens. Can't supply sufficient power, close down the thing, cause everybody already know that they getting swing. Sorry for the inconvenience, we don't wanna hear that. We want a little thing, oh, BPL, you're wrong. Cutting people light off and on. Till while y'all been top down. Me pay my bill in full, no sir. The company don't give a damn. BPL, yeah man, you're wrong. Plus the light bill sky high now. Sacrifice and get your solar system. Get off the grid now. Get off the grid now.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC is for all of you. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC is for all of you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
For the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the roadworks going on this week. Got a couple of spots to tell you about. Work continues on Tawny Williams Darling Highway between Bahamas Games Boulevard and Blue Hill Road. That's the paving of the eastbound lanes there. That work mainly between 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Expected to wrap up next week, Monday. So avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted signs. But the delays as a result of that work, so avoid it. That's the best recommendation. Then there's also Vanria Avenue and Vendel Road off McKinney Drive. That work between 9:30 and 3:30 each day as well. And that's expected to continue until Wednesday of next week. Then we've got traffic diversions as a result of Bahamas Goombay Festival, which wraps up in New Providence today. That's happening today. And as of last night, Bay Street between Charlotte Street and Rawson Square was closed to allow setup for the festival. And then as of this morning, the square, Rawson and Parliament Square, will be closed to vehicular traffic. And so there'll be one central lane of eastbound traffic allowed from Charlotte Street until Parliament Street, and all traffic will be diverted north and south of Bay Street. And as of 1 o'clock, the eastbound intersection of Bay and Charlotte Street will be closed to vehicular traffic as well until the end of the festival, which ends at midnight. Everything's expected to be back to normal Saturday morning. But again, if you don't have to be in the downtown area, you definitely want to avoid that today. And we are already in your real-time traffic seeing congestion as a result of this downtown. Bay Street looking busy for you as you approach Parliament Street. So keep that in mind. Again, avoid the area if you can. We've got a bit of congestion on West Bay Street near Nassau Street. And Mila Butler Highway is busy about midway between Fire Trail and Tawny Quilmes Darling Highway. So as you approach Harold Pond in the northbound lanes there. And that same stretch we have told you about with the work going on Tawny Quilmes Darling Highway, some very slow-moving traffic there as it is single lane at this moment between Bahamas Games Boulevard and Independence Drive. Blue Hill Road, busy as you approach that roundabout with Independence Drive as well. Carmichael near Blue Hill, also seeing some slow-moving traffic at this hour. We'll have another update for you and another reminder of all of these things going on in our next traffic report after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Reminding you to start that conversation with rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got front of the boundary across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to support a few showers and thunderstorms across the area, while a weak ridge of high pressure will dominate weather across the rest of the country. Swells generated by Hurricane Ernesto, well to the northeast of the Bahamas, will impact the islands mainly along Atlantic exposures, and that's we've got a number of special warnings for today. A heat advisory, another one in effect for the whole country. UV indices will range from high to extreme, and everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities, wear sunscreen, and seek shaded areas where possible. Again, as a result of Ernesto, hazardous boating and beaching conditions will impact the country, and boaters and beachers are strongly advised to avoid entering Atlantic waters due to moderate to large easterly swells. So that's for the islands on the eastern side of the archipelago. We're expecting dangerous rip currents as well. And that's going to mean motorists and pedestrians should also exercise caution while along East Atlantic coastal roads, especially the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. So for today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid conditions with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, turning fair tonight with a passing shower or two possible. Smallcraft advisory in effect for Atlantic waters. Boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. For the southeast Bahamas, partly mostly sunny and hot with a chance of spotty showers, mostly fair and warm tonight. Smallcraft advisory in effect for Atlantic waters. Again, boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make you feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that front boundary is going to linger across northwest Bahamas, supporting a few showers and thunderstorms, while weak high pressure will dominate elsewhere. The hazardous and boating and beaching conditions will continue due to the moderate to large swells from Hurricane Ernesto, mainly along Atlantic exposures. So for tomorrow, Saturday, partly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. Mostly fair and warm at night with stray showers possible. Sunday, partly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. Mostly fair and warm at night with stray showers possible. That's your morning blend weather check. We'll have the latest on Ernesto in our next weather check after the 8 o'clock news.
Condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Wishing for some extra cash this summer? Enter Esso's Summer Wins promotion. Esso is giving you the chance to win 3 incredible cash prizes: $2,000, $2,500, and the grandest prize of them all, $5,000. To enter, simply fuel up with $25 or more, write your contact information on the back of your receipt, and you'll be eligible to win. 10 lucky customers will also have a chance to participate in convenience store sweepstakes. Promotion ends September 29th, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Like and follow Sol Petroleum on Facebook for more details.
Join us in helping to support the Bahamas Children's Emergency Hostel. When doing your shopping at Janae's Uniform Center, just drop your coins or more in the special donation box.
You can also help by donating vitamins, snacks, medicines, books, and more.
Visit the Bahamas Children's Emergency Hostel directly, or you can donate online at bceh242.org or call 361-4124 or 807-6155.
And thank you for helping us.
The Bahamas Children's Emergency Hostel. Together, we can make a difference.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna. Our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day your way. Only at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from around the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game,
Percy Pension Plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy Pension Plan. Island game, we got you. Percy Pension Plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:26, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got a thunderstorm warning in effect now until about 9:15. That's in effect for severe thunderstorm warning for South Eleuthera, Great Exuma, and their adjacent waters. Again, that's from 7:45 to about 9:15 this morning. There's also a severe weather watch in effect for North Andros. The Department of Meteorology says that their satellite imagery is showing a line of showers with embedded thunderstorms moving towards and across the warning and watch areas. And these showers and thunderstorms associated with the frontal boundary sinking southward across the area. Some showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Localized flooding also possible during this time. So again, that's until 9:15 a.m. A severe thunderstorm warning in effect for South Eleuthera and Great Exuma, and a severe weather watch in effect for North Andros. We've got a lot going on weather-wise today. We've got this frontal boundary that is across the northwest Bahamas that's going to support these showers and thunderstorms across the area. We've also got a weak ridge of high pressure dominating weather across the rest of the country. Plus, we've got swells generated by Hurricane Ernesto out in the Atlantic, northeast of us. But that's still impacting the country, especially along Atlantic exposures. And that's going to make for hazardous boating and beaching conditions. More on that in just a bit. We've also got a heat advisory, another one for the entire country. Everyone's being advised to limit outdoor activities and hydrate. UV indices will be in the extreme range, high to extreme. And the hazardous boating and beaching conditions will impact the country, and the boaters and beachgoers are strongly advised to avoid entering Atlantic waters due to the moderate to large easterly swells and the dangerous rip currents. Plus, motorists and pedestrians should avoid or should exercise caution along coastal roads or Atlantic coastal roads, especially the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. We're expecting overtopping waves and even coastal flooding. So again, as we said, a lot happening. For the northwest and central Bahamas today, a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, turning fair tonight with a passing shower or two possible. For the southeast Bahamas, partly to mostly sunny and hot with a chance of spotty showers with thunderstorms, mostly fair and warm tonight. For boaters, for the northwest and central Bahamas, small craft advisory will be in effect for Atlantic waters. Boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. For the southeast Bahamas, boaters, a small craft advisory in effect for Atlantic waters. Boaters should avoid entering Atlantic waters. As we head into the weekend, that boundary is going to linger across northwest Bahamas, supporting a few showers and thunderstorms, while weak high pressure will dominate elsewhere. Hazardous boating and beaching conditions will continue to create moderate to large swells from Hurricane Ernesto, mainly along Atlantic exposures. So for tomorrow, Saturday, partly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. Mostly fair and warm at night with a stray shower or two possible. Sunday, partly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers and a few possible thunderstorms. Mostly fair and warm with stray showers possible. So, with Ernesto, we are praying for our friends in Bermuda as Hurricane Ernesto is expected to produce strong winds, dangerous storm surge, and life-threatening flooding across Bermuda starting later today. As of 5 o'clock, Ernesto was about 320 miles south-southwest of Bermuda. Ernesto is moving towards the north-northeast near 13 miles per hour. Its general motion is expected to continue, followed by a slower north-northeastward motion on Saturday and a faster northeastward motion expected late into the weekend. On the forecast track, the center of Ernesto is expected to pass near or over Bermuda by Saturday. Maximum sustained winds will remain near 100 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast through the next day or so. Ernesto is forecast to be a large hurricane near Bermuda on Saturday and maintain its strength through the weekend. So again, hoping for all the best for Bermuda. But that is your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all of your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. We've also got a lot going on with traffic. We've got roadworks to tell you about, or remind you about Tawny Williams-Darling Highway and the roadworks are the paving of the eastbound lanes between 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. daily. This is expected to continue through Monday. You're asked to avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted traffic signage. There's also paving on Van Ria Avenue and Vendel Drive. This is off McKinney Drive. That work continues between 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Again, avoid the area if you can, or follow the posted signs. And today we've got Bahamas Goombay Festival, so there are traffic diversions already in play, and you want to avoid downtown Nassau if you're not going to the festival. That starts at 6 o'clock today, but there are going to be closures and diversions, so keep that in mind. They are already starting. And that's impacting your traffic right now. We are seeing heavy traffic in downtown Nassau, in the area where the stage is set up. That the Rawson Square, Parliament Square is going to be closed off for you, and so traffic on Bay Street is busy right now. And we're also seeing some issues on Duke Street, coming off Shirley Street, heading westbound. Elsewhere, we've got Milabella Highway, still seeing some heavy traffic just north of Harold Pond as you get closer to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. And that stretch that is being prepared for paving again today is looking busy for you right now. Folks, avoid this area if you can. You can take some other alternate routes, maybe try Cordo Avenue, Celery Drive to get into Blue Hill another way, or even Carmichael. But the delays are going to get you on Tawny Williams-Darling Highway if you're heading eastbound between Palms Games Boulevard and Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road also busy for you near Carmichael and northbound of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
Are you seeking exceptional health care beyond the traditional hospital setting? Introducing Doctors Hospital Clinics, your trusted destination for comprehensive care. Our full-service locations provide affordable services through our Loyalty Advantage membership program and NHI. Experience seamless care with our integrated health system, where your medical history travels with you, ensuring continuity of care. Book an appointment today at clinics.doctorshosp.com. We make primary care easy.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive get-offs, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deals.
Boy, BPL, y'all cool, eh? I mean, people scrap up to get this money. Now you rush pay y'all still cut people off. Y'all put the company in a whole next company hand, and y'all still cutting people light off. All of it. And then y'all want to talk about sorry for the inconvenience cost? Oh, BPL, you're wrong. Come little while y'all been back down. Keep cutting people light off and on.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you on this Friday. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about immersion at iDiscover Village. We'll find out what that's all about. And later in business, we're talking with Department of Inland Revenue about the VAT holiday that's coming up. But right now, we continue our discussion about BPL and the hellish night that many of us experienced. You heard in the report, I hope you did, the news report, BPL saying that more than half of the Providence customers were affected by this. So not quite island-wide, but a whole heck of a lot of people. And they're saying that several generators tripped at the Clifton Pier plant, and that caused lots of issues, and they were just able to restore everybody by 4 a.m. So a lot of people came on midnight 1, but they didn't get everybody up till after 4. So that is awful. People went off from 8:30, 9 o'clock. So not a pleasant night in the middle of August, incredibly hot and uncomfortable. So we're getting the last of your events in. Or out, however you want to look at it. I've got a whole lot of your text messages, and you can continue to send them. We'll see how quickly we can get through these. 422-4796, and you might be able to get in a call if you're quick. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Earlier, reading the messages, the thousands of messages on their Facebook page, BPL's Facebook page. I got to say, my favorite of all. There were some really good zingers there, but when they on there, a totally different post from earlier about them hiring, and the person says, "How about y'all hire a solar company?" It's got to be the text of the day, the week, yeah. Because seriously, some something, anything but what we've got now. Let's get this call in, then we'll get to the text messages. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. Listen, I had to call in this morning.
Oh, this is Duquesa. Good morning,
Duquesa. This is Duquesa, yes. I had to call in this morning after listening to the release from BPL simply because, yes, we want to celebrate the small wins. It's been like a year since nationwide or Nassau-wide, you've had so much outages, but on a consistent basis, almost every day, residents in this country, Nassau, Eleuthera, all over are experiencing outages. That's no consolation prize to me. Like, I want to call on this government to park all their travel, all the unnecessary projects that they have on the board right now, and focus on bringing relief to the Bahamian people. This has to become priority number one. Okay? Last night while I was reading the messages on the BPL site, I saw a customer saying that, well, not a customer, this is a tourist. Okay, we say we depend on tourism. That's our number one industry. There is a tourist talking about the fact that he's staying at Harborside, and there's some of the resort has electricity, some of it doesn't. It's him, his wife, and his little children. And it's hot. Okay, you have tourists that are not only staying in hotels, they're staying in Airbnbs as well. If you don't want to do it for the Bahamian people, like, tourism is your bread and butter. Half of this island was off last night.
But Duquesa, you got to look at it another way. Those tourists were getting an authentic Bahamian experience.
No, I don't. That's not an authentic Bahamian experience.
That's what I go through all the time in this Bahamas. So they should experience it too.
Dwight, that's not authentic Bahamian. It is abusive. It is neglect. It is torture. That's what it is. No Bahamian will call that an authentic experience.
That's all we've ever known. That's all we've ever known. We don't know any better. Look at you. You just said it on the show this week that you went away and it started to rain. And you said, oh, my God, the power's going to go off. And you were in a totally different country because you've been abused for decades.
Dwight, we had cancer patients sitting in their cars last night in air conditioning, trying to stay cool. That is traumatizing.
Wow.
So this isn't no little pion problem. This is a major problem that needs to be addressed. And we have to stop looking for these little band-aid approaches and bite whatever we need to bite the bullet and fix BPL.
Yeah.
This is it.
Well, we can all agree on that. We can all agree on that. Duquesa, thank you so much for calling and appreciate it. Great talking to you on Friday. Let's take some more calls really quickly. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, man. The thing about it, you don't mind if the current just going off around 8 and come on around 4 o'clock,
What?
My current gone off and on 49 times in 1 hour.
Oh, boy.
You don't mind, though. It keep coming on for 5 minutes, then going off for 10, come back on for 5 minutes, then going off. On, off, on, off, on. Man, so much things. I so scared I going to hit the main lever in my meter box with BCs cut you off because these flat screen TVs and things like that, they're so delicate. These high definition DVDs, these high-tech TV and things, and all these Fire Stick and things, and these smart TVs and things like that, they're so delicate. Man, your fridge, your microwave, your computer. Man, I'm on the back road at a generator. You know the generator, like when the current come back on, it's run for a little while, then cut off. Man, that was cutting off and on, off and on. They like off and on because every 10 minutes and on, then it go back off, and then it come back on, and then it's half phase. Man, people with electric cars who charging cars can mess up your charger. Man, they're going to jack up and then they don't pay nothing. They ain't going to pay you one red set. One red set, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they can brag to say, I agree with Miss Bain, Yeah, man, they go, oh, yeah, that's the first time, it off in 1 year. And that's like, man, the tourists, it's so embarrassing. Man, you don't know the love lady who was hook you up to go to Canada. You won't have a number.
We'll talk.
I don't laugh.
We'll talk off here. We'll talk off here.
Immigration, who's they were hooking you up in Canada. This is ridiculous in 2024, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got up at half an hour to go because I just go and sleep around 4:30. My whole sheet was soaked and my pillowcase was sweating, can't even turn it over and over, can't sleep in the 90-degree temperature last night.
Yeah.
This is
It was rough.
ridiculous, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
all right,
much.
Dwight. Yeah, man.
Both DeQuesta and I note to you with your Miss Bain. You were something else. You were something else called. But I said it earlier in the show that I think BPL was jealous of how much we were talking about GBPC. And they're like, oh, we can show you. We can show you. Don't forget us. This text says here, I didn't suffer too much when I got home yesterday. First thing I did, and I normally do, is cool down the house. So you turn it on. That's what you have to do, and that's why your bills are so high, right? But I got my bill yesterday. It went from just over $200 last month to over $500. Haven't seen a bill that high in years, and I live in the East. Well, that's what you say. You get home and turn on the AC as soon as you get in. Of course your bill's going to be high. What do you think? Anyway, this person says, what a disaster last night after power went on and off 13 times. We ultimately turned off the breaker to avoid damage. Yep. Wow. This one says the reason why we always get the, they have shifty, and is because we elect one. I can't read the rest of this, but this is, Yeah. Okay. Great. This one says here, in Seabreeze, my power dipped 3 times last night before going off for hours. Yeah, I think that was what many of us got that. This person says here, the problem is simple. Y'all expecting black politicians, oh boy, who never ran a successful business in their life. Now they're in Parliament, and they automatically become the expert in everything. This is above their pay grade. I don't think you have to make that a race thing, but the point is taken. People who came out of nowhere are now expected to fix problems. This person says, I live in the north of New Providence. Okay, this is the first time in a long time that the light was off for 40 minutes. Wow, you're very lucky. I watched the people downtown setting up in the dark. You mean for the Gumbe Festival today? Boy, that's rough. This person says that BPL needs to stop putting new patches on old clothes or wine in old wineskin. Mm-hmm. Where is the leader? Where is our employee? I learned from a child that the leader goes down with the ship. Hubert Ingram was the last leader to give quarterly reports to the people. Why do we not receive addresses to the nation? Okay. This person says here there was never this much blackouts under minutes after the new generators were installed. Okay, and what is that supposed to mean? So what do you think? You want to go back to that? That's what you're saying should happen? Yeah. And the generators, are they still in existence? But what's the point of your text? And who sent that text? What do you try to prove? Is that you again? Minister, I told you to stop this. I told you to stop that. Anyway, can you confirm whether or not the international UK investigators have touched down? I don't know yet. We're going to try to figure out. And this person says here, Dwight, did BPL acknowledge the possible loss of equipment with frequent outages, too many to count, just like the caller said? We didn't hear it, but you know what it's been like in the past. It's been quite a challenge. Just a few more messages. This person says here, this government wants to take on GBPC. They don't want to take on GBPC. They just want GBPC to go to IRCA when they want to request rate increases. They don't want to take it over. No. This texter says here, if all the people complaining about BPL put the blame on the red and yellow parties, they messed us up over all these years. Other than pinging our leaders, what does that mean? And what? What? Oh, pinling. Is that what you mean? That's not what you're saying. But anyway, yet we still will be at their conventions waiting in yellow and red shirts. Mm-hmm. These bills sound like second mortgages. Yes, for some people they are, definitely. And this person says here, don't perpetuate the usage is up lies. It's not a lie. It is up. But, I mean, that's not the reason why your bill is high. It's higher because of usage, but it's fuel on my bill, my usage, which apparently is down, yet the bill is extremely high. But I can see the fuel is the majority of the bill. And this is what people have been talking about all morning about this reliance on fossil fuel. This is killing us. Anyway, they go on to say, don't you believe that texter was turning on the AC when they got home for years, possibly decades? This is not usage. This is that crazy fuel surcharge. Yes, absolutely. crazy fuel surcharge and the magical calculations that double or triple or quadruple by magical crystals. Yeah. Okay, I get your point. And this final text here, Dwight, it was sad last night, but it's more of this to come because both governments neglect our power system. No one is serious about it. Look how the BPL people are saying that this is no big deal. It's the first major outage. Boy. Let's take this final call, and then we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, how you doing, Dwight?
Doing well.
I put up the paper this morning, right? And the paper read, like, BPL blackout, 2 murders in one day. And it's like, I just laughed to myself, right? Because if you check the paper 20 years ago, it's almost said the same thing. Like, nothing is changing because the root of our problem is people are so politically oriented and blinded that when the PLP in power, the persons who are shouting and screaming for change under the FNM is quiet. When the FNM comes to power, the people who are shouting and screaming for change under the it's like everyone who supports the PLP now sees nothing wrong with what the system is doing now, and they're speaking about it. But you let the PLP come out of office, all of a sudden now all these same voices are quiet now, can be complaining about every single issue. What's the problem? But they have the chance to fix it now. Yeah. But they won't because they're getting contracts or they can afford to pay the BPL bill or they could call their friend and get this thing done and get that thing done. Until the humans stop being so politically oriented and just fight for change regardless of who in power, nothing will ever change.
Yeah.
Because
oh, is he gone? Wow. Yeah, you are definitely correct about that. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be back with more Morning Blend in just a bit.
Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Oh, keep me in your arms. Come little while y'all bit back down. Keep cutting people line off and on. Me pay my bill in full, no sir. Company don't give a damn. The generator still back down. That's the light bill sky high now. Oh, sacrifice and buy your solar system and get off the grid now. This is what I wanna know. Why y'all keep cutting people light on and off? When I go home, you're messing up my stuff. And when I tell you about it, then you act dumb. Got people home in darkness. What we going through is a bunch of foolishness. It's like we paying y'all to never get it fixed. It's like we paying y'all to hear y'all talk anyway. This right here, this is frustrating. Supposed to be saving, supposed to be cussing, but y'all keep trying to press all my buttons. And when a button jam, this is what happens. Can't supply
all young champions, supportive sidekicks, and wise mentors. Are you ready to unleash your back-to-school superpowers? Fly into John Bull Business Center, gear up, and enjoy a super 20% off all school supplies and 10% off on teaching aids. And that's not all. With every purchase now through September 7th, enter to win a $3,000 shopping spree. Zoom in to John Bull Business Center today and gear up like a true super student. Back to school is around the corner. Move to the top of the class with this amazing Scotiabank Back to School credit card offer. You could win your share of prize money valuing $10,000 when you spend $150 or more on any Scotiabank credit card to purchase books, uniforms, technology items, or other academic items. 10 lucky customers will each win $2,000 in cash back towards their purchases. Promotion runs July 12th through September 30th, 2024. Drawing date is Friday, October 11th, 2024.
Est-ce que vous connaissez ou fait j'aime sida? Pas gen aucune raison pour ça. Tesla gratis et li confidentiel. Ou capable faire Tesla gratis dans n'importe côté ça yo pas cité là. Allez dans Clinique South Beach, Clinique Flamingo Gardens, Clinique Fleming Street, Clinique Elizabeth State, dans Grand l'hôpital Princess Margaret avec dans Centre Virus Sida Jardin Royal Victoria. Et puis Tesla gratis et li confidentiel dans clinique qui dans zile yo tout. Qui ça wap tan? Li bon pour connaître ou faire j'aime sida. Al fait Tesla.
A message from the Pan-American Health Organization and the HIV/AIDS Center, Ministry of Health.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a Hot Sweet Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out. Summer may be ending, but the party is just getting started at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss our Summerfest All-Star Bahamian Concert on Saturday, August 17th at the Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater. Enjoy electrifying performances by Abby, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxie, The Mighty Pencil, Shad Colley and the VIPs, Blotty, and more. Best of all, it's free. Gates open at 4 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Grab your crew, bring your vibes, and let's end this summer in true Bahamian style. All right, here we go. Junkanoo. Yes, I tell you, I feel it. For too long, I've been in New York, back and forth to London town. I felt like I was going crazy, 'cause I really miss the Bahamian sound. When the drums start to play and the cowbells ring, oh Lord, that's the sweetest feeling. If you're losing control, 'cause the rhythm in your soul, that's Junkanoo. That's Junkanoo. If you should be in bed, but you're on the street instead, that's Junkanoo.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you. Look who's here. He's just showed up. No. He's here for our next hour, Chester Robards.
Wow.
And then
Yes,
he's
good
gonna
morning.
Then you'll be treated with Chester for a good portion of next week while I go to rehab.
You're supposed to leave it as a surprise.
I'm going to get my
Once
spa.
you don't say
Go to the
what
spa.
type of rehab.
Go to the
type
spa
exactly?
to help me to cope with the final few months of the year. But yeah, Chester Robards, thank you for being here. And
always a
he's
pleasure.
going to join us for our 9 o'clock business hour when we talk with the, Inland Revenue about VAT. So that's coming up. But right now, it's called Immersion, and it's coming up tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
That's Teranique Miller speaking there. Good morning. Is that too loud for you?
Mhm.
Yeah, Chester, can you turn that down a little bit for you? Great to have you with us. It's been a while.
Oh, I've never heard my voice that loud. I understand now.
Oh, boy. Thank you for being here. Tell us about iDiscover the Village. Tell us about that, and then we'll get into the event.
All right, so what we've essentially done is created a cultural village where we can expose our guests to a lot of different aspects of our culture. So obviously Junkanoo is at the heart and soul of everything, and so we have live Junkanoo every day. Nowhere else can you have live Junkanoo every day. We also encourage small businesses, so we have a sort of an incubation setup. So we have vendors that provide authentically Bahamian products. So we have our straw, we have our conch jewelry, we have our sponge. We have an area for the kids, so we have our cotton candy, we have our snow cones, Bahamian rum cake, and all of those vendors are present every day.
And where is this?
This is on St. Albans Drive.
Okay.
Just east of Primetime, since everybody knows where Primetime is.
It seems so. How long has this been around now?
So we've been in active operation since September of last year. We signed Royal Caribbean. And so currently we service their guests by booking. And now we're at a point where we're pivoting into the local market. So we're inviting our friends to come down and experience it. So there's no better way to know than if you come and experience it. So
This is amazing.
The live band, we have a village band performing. You get to break down Junkanoo, or even our guests, they get to play the cowbell, beat the drum, get a little mini Junkanoo practice, and then they dress up in our costumes, and then they rush with the Junkanoo.
Right, and this is what people have been saying we've needed forever
Yes,
here.
yes.
What's the response been like from the guests?
Guests are loving it. The most common feedback is, we didn't quite understand Junkanoo. We far too often are compared to a Carnival or a Juve or and they don't really get that it's different. And we have discussions with them. We talk to them, the history, the United Nations naming it an intrinsic part of our culture. Why? It's a dance, it's a parade, it's a festival, it's all things Bahamian. So when you break that down and you let them actually touch and feel and shake and dance with the Junkanoo, they're like, this was amazing. We didn't know. And they're now, I'm going to YouTube it. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. Welcome.
Wow. And you say you do this every day. When do you have the rush outs? When does that happen?
So we're on site every day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Right now, the schedule permits that we have Junkanoo intermittently. So we have a group that comes every day from our Royal Caribbean that's around 11:30, 12 o'clock. But if we have other groups come in from taxi drivers or other tour companies, we start the program with their group as well. So no matter when you get there, you're sure to experience Junkanoo before you leave.
So is it from a particular Junkanoo group, or is it just
the Village Junkanoo group.
So it's your Junkanoo.
My Junkanoo.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
The Village Ensemble of Junkanoo.
Village Band, Village Junkanoo.
That's amazing. Okay, so you're saying this is now you're opening the gates to Bahamians to come and experience this as well.
Yeah. So initially, the history of it is that we kind of were in the middle of the COVID shutdown, right? So although we had a lot of themed events and everything else planned for the local market, then they was like, stay inside. And so it was like, okay, no outside at all, even though it's an open air facility. It took a while for them to kind of distinguish between stay inside and you can be outside. And so in the middle, of course, trying to secure survival, we pivoted to the tourist market, which was weird because we was locked inside, but the tourists was still here. So we started servicing, the tourist market and then secured the contract. So now we're circling back and making sure that we are connected to the local market and that Bahamians know that they are more than welcome to experience, to give feedback, to help us develop and grow, make sure the Junkanoo right. How we go.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get details about immersion in just a bit, but how would you do this if you are a Bahamian? Do you need to book time to come, or can you just show up, or how will this work going forward?
So you can just show up. We're going to start doing our social media blast where we will kind of break down the packages that we're offering. The immersion is going to feature our Village Band for the first time. So we'll be having some live band nights, some themed events during the day. So we'll start pushing all of that into our social media platforms very, very shortly. Once we figure out exactly what y'all want. We'll make that happen.
Right. Okay, so this is going to be great. So I can imagine schools will be able to come.
Yes.
And this is going to be fantastic. All right, so tell us about Immersion, which is tomorrow and is unbelievably free?
Yes, free entry. So that's not our favorite word, but we realize that it's a favorite for a lot of people.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that people are able to bring their families, right? So if I have a family of 8, I try to pay $10 each for all of them to come in. So as we kind of break the seal on the local market, we want to make sure that that's not what stops you from coming. So come in free. Of course, our vendors have their products for sale, but the experience itself, the engagement, the activities, all of that is free.
Wow. Okay, and what can we expect?
Plenty things. We kind of, so our business model is get it all in, right? So let's make the most of 30 minutes or an hour. Let's see what we can do to keep people engaged and active. So, of course, you'll have the live Junkanoo. You'll have the Village Band that'll perform in the middle of the evening. We got ring play. We got Bahamianese.
Bahamian what?
Bahamianese. So we do Bahamianese with the guests. And so we are now sort of stockpiling all of the Bahamian things that we say and do so that we could share with our guests. So I forget sometimes. Like, I'm literally like, what else do we say? What else do we say?
We say I forget.
Yeah, we say, I remember. Right? So we on Saturday, it's more of it's an immersion for both the village and for our guests. And for our guests. So you're coming to tell us, okay, you know what you guys should do? You should also do so-and-so. Man, you forget about platinum maypole with a limbo, so that we could then decide how we're going to grow and develop to meet not only the local needs, but to make sure that it is an immersion every day for our tourists.
So this is kind of, forgive me if it's on the fly, an open house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You show me yours, I show you mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trench coat.
So it'll be food, drinks.
Yes,
all
food,
this stuff.
drinks. Yeah, we also realize that the local market don't come nowhere without food and drinks. So we're gonna have food on site, drinks on site, drink specials, beer buckets, Junkanoo punch, which packs a punch. So it's also an opportunity for you to kind of experience what we have on site every day.
So this is a great opportunity for people who make authentic Bahamian products to come and see the area, to come and talk to you about the opportunities. This is a great time to do that.
Yes. So we are also trying to have a reasonable collection of authentic Bahamian souvenirs, vendors, producers, manufacturers. And so it is the perfect time to come and have a conversation. Even if we don't have the space available, we do have the expertise available. So we do know how to help you to maybe pivot into another market, or maybe we can do a consignment. So we are looking for more Bahamian vendors to be kind of on our playlist.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wow. And you got ring play as well.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the best part.
Yeah?
Yes. I love me some ring play.
Yes, ring play.
Because I can't dance.
So people can jump in and take part in it.
So with the guests, we use the Garland song, right? Because then there are 3 dances in that song. We don't really listen to it, but there's Mash the Roach and there's Skull the Boat. And so we teach the guests the 3 dances first. And then we engage in that song, and then we do a more like, okay, do whatever you can do. But Bahamians, I think, would really mash that up. Like, we're waiting to see the Bahamian ring play, like the 6th grade on the school playground ring play.
Oh, this is going to be amazing.
So you can let them went up on the hill with the bucket on their head.
Yes,
start rocking and rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we all be sure y'all ready to be seen. So don't come around here being hiding.
All right, so this is all tomorrow. Tell us what people need to know if they want to be a part of this tomorrow. What time is it going to be, and what people need to do if they want to be a part of it?
So it's 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and you need to show up. You need to show up and bring everybody you know. We just, like I said, we want to make sure that the exposure happens, and we also want to make sure that the feedback happens. Bahamians, they could tell you like it is. Now, our guests, we give them, like I said, a very well-rounded experience, and they're loving it. But if we're missing anything, I know we can get it Saturday.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
And you can find iDiscover on things to get information.
Yes. You can actually find us almost everywhere. But we have iDiscover the Village on Instagram. We are on Facebook, Junkanoo Village. I'll leave some contacts with you guys, and then we can send the flyer out again.
Okay. Wonderful stuff. And then you'll be back to tell us more about what you're going to offer for the market once you get your feedback from this
Yes,
tomorrow.
we're very excited for the local market. I think that the support of our initiative, our vendors, our cultural village, has to first start with the feedback from the local market. So the only reason we kind of had to go back and then come forward is because we were shut down for a while.
Okay. This is exciting. Immersion again tomorrow at iDiscover Junkanoo Village from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes.
All right, great stuff. All right, Taranique Miller, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thanks, Dwight. Thanks, Chester.
We're going to take a break for news, and when we come back, Morning Blend Business, we're talking about VAT. There's a VAT holiday coming, folks, so you need to know about this with the Department of Inland Revenue when we come back.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, August 16th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me for this hour, I'm glad to have co-host Chester Robards.
Glad to be here.
With Guardian Business here, as we've got a serious topic to talk about. We're talking about VAT this morning. And this is good news, a VAT holiday. And we're also going to get into a VAT Stamp Amnesty, all with the Department of Inland Revenue. Very pleased to have with us Head of Operations, Dexter Fernander, and VAT Stamp Unit Manager, Latoya Albury. Great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. VAT holiday, that's always good news. But we haven't done this for a while. Is that right?
Every year we do it.
We still do it every year?
Every year.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's go back historically as to why we do it and the impact it has.
Okay. So any type of VAT scheme is there to assist the end user. You know, VAT is a consumption tax. So the idea is specifically for the area of education for those that are in the middle and, of course, the poor in our community, that we reach to them. Not everyone has the ability to travel and get this stuff. Mm-hmm. So the VAT Amnesty, which is for 4 weeks, gives the individual the ability to purchase items, necessities for them to get back to school at a reasonable price. And so, you know, if you look at the cost of traveling, getting these items, shipping them in compared to buying it, the next thing is we stimulate the economy. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, the small man and all of the businesses benefit as we purchase behemoth.
Right. So it is a back-to-school VAT holiday.
Yes.
But I'm sure people are curious about the impact it has on revenue. Can you say?
Well, it has a little dip. It has a dip because, of course, there is some refunds that happens if you understand VAT inputs and outputs. Mm-hmm. So as the retailer purchases abroad, well, of course, they're purchasing in bulk. They still pay VAT at the border. Mm-hmm. And so that is an input thing. So you net off. And so there is the government finds itself sometimes in a refund position for those items sometimes. But ultimately, the economic impact of individuals getting ready for school, having the items necessary to facilitate education, it's more of a benefit.
Yeah.
Comparative advantage, you'd call it, eh?
Very much, right.
Have you been able to track over the years how much people actually use it during that period?
Yes, we have. Yeah. So we see those peaks in certain businesses that use it. Individuals are still programmed to going away, and they still purchase abroad. So we see the border customs information.
Right.
But generally, we are pleased and thankful for all of the importers who have to be a part of the program, and they're not upping or marking up their prices during this period. And so we see the end product really going to the consumer.
Yeah. Right. Well, how do you make sure of that they aren't doing that?
Well, one thing about behemoths is that they are very creative. Individuals will call us, they'll call us, or they'll call Consumer Affairs and tell us, well, hey, I knew this price what it was before, and I see that they went markup. And we have the power. if you go into a place and you know they're doing it, the best thing they do is walk away. I see many people, families make WhatsApp groups. They know the price of, not even just this, they know the price of goods. They send out the various ads prior to then, so they can mark and look at the difference and see if there's some type of savings for them. All right. But also, we have our compliance unit that goes out and ensure that, hey, this item, can we speak to your manager? Very discreetly say this item's supposed to be VAT free.
And what's the response been like when that happens?
They are apologetic and move quickly to addressing that item.
But not very common.
Not very common. We don't see that.
All right. So as you said, it's a back to school VAT holiday. So there's specific things on the list.
Yes, it's on our webpage. It's about 14 items that is in the order. General basics, the items, books, computers, school supplies, hair accessories, and then we also went to printer, hand sanitizer, and those other items that might be of interest for school students.
Right. So you can't make a case for a washing machine. I have to wash my uniform. I need, this is a VAT back to school item.
Unfortunately, there had been abuse of certain items. I think at one point there was like detergent and some type of items, but the abuse of it not going for the real purpose of it. At any scheme, there are certain focus. And then when we see that's not happening, the list is amended over the years.
Yeah, has it shrunk over the years?
Yes, I think at one point there was cold cuts, cold cuts, slicing. Then individuals just go and then there was trying to identify what is a cold cut. So
it got complicated.
Very, very, very complicated because I can buy a whole hoghead, a brand of something, of a sweet ham. Is it sliced, or is it, when it's imported, is it sliced? Those difficulties for the harmonization codes. And so we narrowed down the list to 14 areas. And then, of course, hair products. It went beyond. You would think a school student would need weave.
Right.
So definitely the hair accessories listing had to be decreased.
And then obviously hand sanitizer is kind of new.
Yeah. And then, of course, do we still need it? Do we still need that protection, et cetera? So increase and decrease over time.
All right. So, so it looks much more like what you would need in school than before. All right. So when does it start? And give us a period. You said it's 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So it starts on Sunday. It starts on August 18th and it ends in September. I think, don't quote me right, but I think it's the 14th. The 14th it should end. That's right. August 18th through September 14th.
Right.
And so it's only on products within the jurisdiction, not that when you reach into customs and you say, hey, this is on the exempt list. No, it's part of the VAT rule. It is within the border, so in the jurisdiction.
And if you are a consumer and you find that you are charged VAT, what should you do?
Call the hotline, 225-7280, our compliance unit, Mr. Walter Winters. You can call them, and we can give a little friendly nudge to that. But if you see that, just walk away. Don't purchase that item.
Right.
That's the power of the Bahamian economy.
Yeah.
You just don't purchase that item.
Well, give us that hotline one more time.
225-7280.
Okay, all right. So that's great stuff. Starting Sunday, August 18th.
Yes, August 18th through the September 14th.
Wow. All right. So there's also the VAT Stamp Amnesty. And I guess, Latoya, is that where you come in, as you are the VAT Stamp Unit Manager?
Yes.
All
Good
right.
morning.
Explain this to us. What are we talking about here?
Okay, so the government this year in their budget, they decided that they're going to grant an amnesty because we noticed that a lot of persons, they have documents that they are unrecorded, they are not stamped, and so which means that you do not own the property. And so when you bring your property, your documents to the Department of Inland Revenue, it's not stamped, it's not recorded. So they noticed that a lot of documents are out there, so they decided to go ahead and grant the amnesty. So the amnesty runs from May 29th, which started at 12 noon, and it ends on November 30th, 2024 at 12 midnight. So basically it is you present your document. If you purchase a piece of property back in 1990 or 2000, and you notice that you haven't had it stamped, or your attorneys dropped the ball somewhere and they didn't stamp the document. So you can present your document to the department at the transaction value. So let me break it down in layman. So if you would have purchased a piece of property for $50,000, say in 2020, and you did not have the document stamped at that time, you can bring the document, you present the document for stamping at that value. So today we know that that value has increased.
Right.
So what the government has decided to do is to allow them to have that document stamped at the transaction value at that time.
Okay.
All right. But there are some late penalties affixed to the document.
So you would know whether by just looking at it to see if there's a stamp on it.
Yes.
And if there is no stamp,
Then we
you
know
got an
that,
issue.
yes, that's an issue. Yes.
And this would have just been an oversight?
Well, you know, sometimes it's a person's document and they say, oh, yeah, okay, we're going to stamp your document. We're going to do our due diligence. And sometimes we find that a lot of the attorneys do not present the document for stamping. So they just hold on to it. And then later on, when they think that they've already satisfied that mortgage, and they come to find out that, hey, my documents were never originally stamped. So we have a problem. So which means now that the document has to be stamped and recorded before the actual satisfaction can be paid on that document. So we're seeing a lot of documents that are coming into the department right now where persons would have purchased properties back in 2010, 2011, 1990, 1998, and no stamp duties or government taxes were paid on the document.
Wow.
So the government now is allowing them to bring the document in to have the document stamped.
Any estimates as to how many we were talking about, or maybe a percentage?
Well, we're seeing them trickle in sparingly, but they're coming in. And amazingly, there are quite a few, but they're coming in sparingly, but they're coming in. And it's no fault to some of the persons who would have purchased. It's just lack of knowledge and ignorance. It's just that they just don't know, because they put a lot of the trust in the attorneys to bring the document in for stamping, but somehow along the line that, you know, it just was not submitted.
Wow.
Which leads to another campaign. So one of our campaign is about consumer information. What should you be doing when you're doing a realty transaction?
Right.
You know, ensure, look at the invoicing from the legal counsel, what they say that they're going to do on behalf of you. So some individuals, you know that once you purchase a property, you need to get it stamped, you need to declare that document, and then get it recorded. Because anyone else can come, and the person who has it stamped, recorded, when there is a legal issue, is the owner of the property.
Yes. And then sometimes you find too, like Grammy had a piece of property and she wants to give it to her son, and then, you know, they don't know about the logistics of having properties registered. And so they sit on that property or the documents, and then now, hey, I want to sell this piece of property. But you didn't realize that, hey, you needed to pay the stamp duty on that property. So, you know, you're bringing in documents like that.
Or entities that are doing in-house financing. You see, this is a big thing. So I hold on to your conveyance until you, well, you've finished whatever there was in this in-house financing, and the document has still not been executed.
On your documents, where should that stamp be?
On the first page.
On the first page?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can easily find this.
Yes.
And if you don't see anything,
then you need to contact your attorney, or you just contact the department and say, hey, listen, I have this document and I noticed that it has not been stamped, no stamp is affixed on it. What do I do next? Yeah.
First page of the conveyance.
On the conveyance document.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And any other clues? Like if they don't know where it is, they can't really put their hand on it. Let's say you're getting inland revenue, emails from inland revenue about your real property tax. Does that, because is that a clue? Like that you're getting it? Does that mean that,
well,
you know?
So if you're getting bills from us, that means that it has been declared. So that
doesn't necessarily mean
that does
it's been
not
stamped.
necessarily it's been stamped and recorded.
I got you.
All right. And so
You
it's
really
a
need
challenge.
that document.
So the first thing is we tell individuals to go back to the lawyer. Oh, my lawyer's dead or closed down practice. And so what do? Well, you need to get an affidavit of loss and then bring that in for stamping.
Yes.
And so I say to any new person out there, anyone listening, as you're doing a realty transaction, make sure that there is an assessment number for the property. There is no outstanding taxes. And as you complete the transaction, make sure it is stamped and recorded for your own sake.
All right, so I'm sorry to ask this, but what will that look like? That stamp specifically is going to
Right now, it's going to morph. Right now, it is still, we're trying to move the Bahamas into modern age digital recording of documents. Right now, it's a red stamp, and it has, the fixtures of some notations of the department, and then it would have a recording number from the Registrar General, a volume and the pages of from the Registrar General. So if you don't see that red stamp or something saying from the public treasury, there's a flag. You signal and come in and just start the process. After the amnesty, I think it triples.
Yes,
the late penalty triples.
Yes.
So you want to bring that document in before November. As I say, it's more in short order. We're going to change the stamp itself on the page. So we have some creative individuals in the market, and so we want to make sure that
creative fraudsters. You mean?
So we want to make sure that for the other agencies, maybe QR code or scan something, so that you can always validate is this document.
Right.
And we really need to think of, from the Bar Association, how can we move this to digital process?
And to piggyback off Fernanda, and VAT Stamp has just gone digital July 1st. So we were doing a lot of things manually. So we've just gone digital. So in order to submit your document for stamping now, that you have to upload your document to a portal. So everything now is digitally. So like he just mentioned, we're going to do away with that stamping. So it's going to be more secure and digital. So you can identify, hey, all right, now I know my document has been submitted and stamped.
And you have a copy of it.
And
so even if the person loses it somehow,
yes.
So I was wondering why you said 12 midnight on the last day.
Yes,
that was a well-working lady.
So because it automatically increases automatically fixed within the system.
Okay.
So after that time,
Okay, so you said something. You said you need to go to a lawyer. You can't come directly to the department if you find out, hey, this isn't stamped. When
I say need to go to a lawyer, the person who executed that document, that legal document, would be the best person to validate from their staffing if it has been done.
Right.
If you can't find that person, you can definitely come. We can do a search for you, but the lawyer has the more of the end use of the Registrar General. I can know what they have done. They'll say, I did it, but I can't find it. Well, then you can come down to us, and then we could be that second layer of searching for you. But everything now is digital. It must be uploaded. And so you might just get a friendly rejection from us.
Oh, dear.
Or then we will just say, bring the document in. It has not been stamped.
All right, and you mentioned what happens after the November 30th.
That's correct.
Let's talk some more about that. If you miss this amnesty period, what are you looking at?
Okay, so if you miss this amnesty period, and these are for persons who would have purchased the property back then, so it means that you will now be paying based on the current market value or the assessed value. And so let me kind of give you an example of what that is. So take in consideration again the example of the 50,000. So you would have purchased back then for 50,000, but now that you have a home on your property, and so that value has increased now to maybe $400,000. So now you're going to pay based on the $400,000
current market value.
The current market value.
And what are you paying?
Yeah, what percent?
So on that, so if it's 500,000, then that'll be at 6%. So we have a tier: 2.5, 4%, 6%, 8%, and 9%, and 10%.
And how long do you have to pay this? Can you pay in installments? How does this work?
There are no installment payments when it comes to stamp duty. So it has to be fully paid.
And then what's the deadline for you to pay that?
Well, if you do not pay within the 6 months of the presentation of your document, then there is a 10% penalty affixed to the document. So you're paying the VAT on the document, and 6 months out, you're paying another 10% on that.
So let's look at this. When you executed the document, when you executed the sales agreement, the government gives you a grace period of 6 months.
Yes.
To bring that document in. So after 6 months, why haven't you reached to us as yet? We've tried to cover these loopholes that even the document should now have the assessment number prior, so that you could know, like I say, informing the consumer, If you know the assessment number, did your lawyer show you a tax certificate that there was no outstanding taxes for real property tax on this property before you purchase it? Remember, the bill stays with the property.
Yeah. But a lot of people, this was built into their mortgage, right? The taxes, all they.
So what are you trying to say?
Paid.
So the banks are at fault? Are you saying that?
Or people paid, but
it's not being executed.
Oh my goodness gracious! Does that happen often?
Yes, when people come to get their clear certificates.
Yeah, like I said, the satisfaction. So a lot of persons, when they come in and say, "Hey, I've already paid off my mortgage for 30 years," and now you find that your conveyance was never stamped.
Yeah, people come in for the burning of their mortgage thing, and when they come to our window after 30 years, you realize
that your document was never stamped and recorded.
So what, they just tell the bank, thanks, we finish, and they never come and get...
So I think what happens is that the attorneys sometimes drop the ball. You know, so a lot of persons put the trust and onus on the attorney to complete the transaction.
Yeah.
So because they didn't complete the transaction, that is where they fall.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. We have some people who come in and they're screaming because I paid my attorney to do all of the work, and it's not completed.
So yet again,
so what do I do?
Go back to looking at that invoice the attorney gave you to see if that was included in their fees, and then you know that, hey, that was a responsible you're supposed to do. So our real thing now is to look at consumer information, informing them, hey, you're doing a realty transaction, this is the steps inside it. So all of these individuals out there who are doing these construction seminars and homeowners promotions, etc., we're asking them to please be honest with the individuals, give them a checklist of the steps that they need to do, and one of that being pay the government the stamp tax and record your document for your sake. You know, so many times you go to court and the person loses out because nothing has never been registered or stamped.
And why in this case are you not doing payment plans for people?
Well, the government is trying to collect revenue. And so we are kind of connected with real property tax. So with the taxes, so before you can get your document stamped, you have to clear real property tax. And so they would have to make sure that the taxes are paid in full first. So if that is not done, you can't pay, you can't get your document stamped. So there is absolutely no payment plan for VAT stamp, but there is a payment plan for real property taxes. So once the real property taxes are cleared, then you can come to us to pay the taxes.
And the payment plan is only an option if it is not held by a commercial bank.
Yes.
Because, you know, as a DM agent, they're supposed to be responsible in ensuring that you pay your real property tax on a yearly basis. And after March 31st, we issue the bank the bills because they are the DM agent responsible for the taxes.
Now, why do you think people are just trickling in? I can imagine that if people realize that... They
Intentionally.
Well, but I'm saying if they realize that they have a document, and we're not talking about 50,000, maybe they paid 90,000 for a piece of property, and they're like, these people are going to hit me with the biggest bill ever, and I don't have it.
We have some of assumptions. Individuals are holding documents as they transfer properties. Unfortunately, we have individuals who assume clients are dead. And of course, you know, you owed me some money, so I'm taking your property as a part of the bill. So we've seen a lot of things, but generally there is a knowledge of what the process is, what the procedure is. As you talk about payment plan, the payment plan is pay it before November. You could piece figure out your November 30th, figure out how you're going to pay this. Not clear to us, we can then move it to power of sale.
Oh boy! Wow.
Do you know that? Do you know if people still have mortgages on these properties and they find that the document isn't stamped? If the bank would front the money?
Oh yes.
Well, yes, that's a relationship with them and the bank. Either the bank puts it at the back of their loan saying that in our original invoice to you that was not included, or if you show proof that it was in your original invoice. But that's when you don't have a separate lawyer. You use the bank's lawyer for the transaction, so you're putting all the faith in the lawyer. Find yourself a legal friend to look at your document before you execute it. And so during this period, either some are absorbing the fees, or some are giving it back to the client as a responsibility or the back end of their mortgage.
How nice would that be?
All right, we're talking with Dexter Fernando and Latoya Albury with Department of Inland Revenue. You can call in. I see some were calling in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. You can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yes. I have a question for the Inland Revenue Department. I inherited some.
Turn on your radio for us, please. Turn on your radio. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I inherited a piece of property, so actually it's generation land. I didn't bought it. It was passed on to me by my father. However, I submitted my documents through Inland online. I'm waiting for a case number. But I just want some information before I receive the number so I could pass it on to someone.
Okay, that's good. So it sounds like when you say inherited, I'm hoping that your probate, your court documents are completed, and you have a conveyance. You have a conveyance that has a registered site plan by the Surveyor General. The challenge we have, and might be a delay, is that your legal person might have said north of Georgetown Airport, 100 miles, Unit 17. And there is, what is that? North of Georgetown. Everyone has minimal description. And there is a challenge that the second schedule of your conveyance might not have the correct dimension as it appears with the document by the Surveyor General. Then we have a challenge of individuals getting done spots surveyed without coordinates, and the person is not up to par, neither a member to issue that document that you have affixed. We then have issues where lawyers submit conveyances without the surveyor. So the challenge has been the island. It is clear title, and if your father's document was not stamped or registered, there is an issue that we have to find out the original first person of the. So if Daddy never declared it, and Daddy got that from Grammy, and Grammy never declared it, there is an issue where we have to find out who is the original registered owner. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so that becomes a challenge and a research for the department. But once you place the document in, we generally within 21 days give you any concerns as it relates to the property and see how best we could move your document along.
Okay, listen, I'm trying to get a number for chief evaluating charge.
See, so that starts at the right. Don't have a number. That means someone down the line never registered that property.
I understand. Listen, it's generation property inherited. The land is attached to the estate. The estate has been probated.
Mm-hmm.
Now the assets have been passed on to me and two of my sisters by way of deed of assent.
Great.
Yeah, so I have submitted the document. So I need a number for someone, so when I get the case number, I can have them take a personal interest in it, as opposed to just the case agent just rejecting it without, explanation.
So I think he's referring to VAT stamp.
Talk right into the mic there.
So I think he's referring to VAT stamp.
Thank you, caller.
Because I think he's already passed the point of the registration for real property tax. So once you would have submitted your document through our portal, you would have received a VAT reference number. So once you would have gotten that number, the processing time takes about 2 to 3 days. So you should have received a communication as to whether your application was approved or it was rejected. But you can call 604-8256. That's my number, Latoya Albury, and I'll be happy to assist to find out exactly what's going on with your matter.
But just for clarification, have you received an assessment number, tax assessment numbers yet?
He's gone.
Okay. Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Give us that number again, Latoya.
Okay, it's 604-8256.
Okay. One more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Nope. Okay. This texter is asking, what recourse do people have if they have paid the attorney for stamping and recording, but it has not been done yet?
But that becomes a court matter,
Mm-hmm.
so that's their recourse. And then settle that matter there. We don't get into
No. The only thing, the government is only responsible for, they only want to collect the money. So we just need to collect the taxes. Yeah. That's it.
You know, we have to look at situations where they show us proof that the lawyer has been disbarred. All of these things, but it's still not a concern at the stamping.
Right.
You are just showing that it has not been done, so you know that the responsibility is now to get it completed.
Yeah. This person's asking, does this apply to people who have bought purchased property in Freeport?
Yes,
Freeport?
it does.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
The Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Countries.
Yes.
No country within a country. Okay. This texture says, what about exemptions for I don't understand this. Low-cost neighbors. What? What?
Low-cost neighbor?
I don't understand. Okay, it's probably
Well, like I say, the amnesty is for everyone. No matter if you're Lyford Key, Pinewood, Over the Hill, it's for everyone who have purchased property and you have not paid the stamp duty or the VAT on the property. You can bring your document in, or you actually present it through the portal, because we have an online process now. So you can present it through the portal and you'll be paying at the transaction value of that date of the document.
That person seems to think that there might be an exemption. There's no exemption on this for anybody who owns property.
But it's a tiered, she talked about progress tax. So someone in that low-cost home has the lowest of the rate.
Right.
This
is not like real property tax where there's an exemption on based on the value.
I think this is the caller. He's texting. I have a case number, conveyance, site plan, etc., needing to be issued at an RPT number so that we can conclude sale.
Yes.
I just need an assessment number. Okay. We've been waiting for quite some time, and calling has been futile. VAT and all of the taxes are paid in full for both the buyer and seller. Or maybe this is, I don't know if it's the same person. It might be a different person, but anyway, they just need a number.
Yeah, it's going back to that challenge. Some lawyers go into so much depth inside the schedule and giving us this description, and it does not match the Surveyor General's plot that is fixed. Or they say, as annexed, and when we go, there's no annex. And so, you either have the point of giving them ability to say, we give you 7 days or 21 days to get the document, or do we just reject you and say, submit this to us when you have all of the necessary documents. Key thing is, your schedule in your conveyance must match the annex, the surveyor plot. If there's a mixture of that, you can't tell me you on the right of the juju tree and your building is actually on the left of the juju tree after the canap tree. So everything has to match up, because at the end of the day, we're doing GPS coordinates. And when we look at Google Earth, and we're asking individuals to be honest, you come and you say it's vacant land, and when we do our geospatial view, well, your vacant land has a pool. What are you declaring to us? This is a false declaration to the department. You come to us.
That's very uncommon, right?
Very, very, And you give me a strong affirmation. You give me affirmation that you live there. Well, maybe you're rich because you are showing up 3 times in our system. So which one of these houses are you affirming that you live in? And, so we're asking the lawyers also to have a moment with their clients before. We have not reached the point where we go after who's making the false declaration, a false declaration. But we're trying our best. We've come a long way, from being manual and you waiting very long to a point where we're submitting documents online and trying to, as best as possible, get them down within 30 weeks. Yeah. 30 weeks, 30 days. That's not 30 days, get the documents addressed.
So it's been 3.5 months since this started. You said people are trickling in, but do you have like a number?
Well, no, we don't have a number as to how many documents. We're trying to gather that information now because I think FS wants that information to see how many persons took advantage of the amnesty and kind of like the revenue as to what was received during the amnesty period. So I think once the period has ended, we can have a true figure as to how many people took advantage of it, because we still have until November. So we're going to have a true figure as to how many people took advantage of it and the revenue that was collected from that.
But there's no actual real idea of how many unstamped documents exist.
No, so we won't know that not until they present them for stamping. Yeah.
But there's nothing that we're doing, like the land registry and all that stuff. Is that going to help you later on to know this stuff?
Well, once they're done with Inland Revenue, then they take their document to the Registrar General to have it recorded. So they won't know either, not until the document is presented for recording. Yeah.
Because you just have a theory that there are lots of people who
But I
fall
do
in this
because
category.
yes, I do because like I said, we're seeing them come in, and a lot of them they're coming in because basically just for lack of knowledge, they just didn't know. So they're coming in.
And in the resale, so when we're looking at the conveyance and we're looking at it, and they're saying that it came from Chester, but Chester isn't the register of this. So before Chester, it was a foreign owner, and it was Dwight. But Dwight is still not in our system. So we're seeing multiple transactions of multiple conveyances not stamped. And I keep on saying the tax remains with the property.
Yes.
Well. All right, let's see if we can squeeze these in really quickly because I do want to ask about business licenses as well before we go. But good morning, caller, you're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, yes, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Mhm.
And good morning to your guests. I want to know, I have some properties where there is a structure on it and had a roof on it, but it was never completed and never got occupancy certificate. How do they deal with that?
Well, of course, it has not. The act has changed over the years. At some point, it says once there's an improvement, there is a value. Since you have not received electricity, we sometimes look at that case as vacant land. Now, why I say that? We cannot generally just go over there because there are some islands like Eleuthera, they quote unquote don't have electricity, but they have their alternates. We look at them at a case by case. So once you submit it in, and if you can show if there's no occupancy certificate and we've done a site inspection and we are satisfied that it's not livable, it is only calculated at vacant land. Now, if you're living in there and you have your own supply of electricity, then you become taxable.
Okay. One final call, and then we're going to stick to the text messages. Good morning, you're on the air. Hi. Are you there? No. Okay. This texter says, I've been waiting for real property tax declarations for more than 3 months. In the past, it took me a few weeks, but now it's months. Why is this?
Okay, so we moved over to a new platform. If you're having those problems, you can send in to property tax inquiries at bahamas.gov.bs. Tell us the FID case reference. Ensure that you are the one who get into communication. There is a difference with the lawyers do. They do a customer form, and then to ensure that they get the money from the client, they submit to us the lawyer's document. So if there is, please check your junk mail, etc. See if you got an incomplete submission request from the department. But still, send it to property tax inquiries at bahamas.gov.bs. Tell us the case reference number, and we can check on it and give you an update on where it is within the system.
Yeah. All right, this is a good question. When I purchased my property, there was no VAT and no VAT tax. Do I still have to pay the VAT stamp?
That's correct.
Yes, you do.
The stamping of the document.
So it's just a stamp. That's on that. All right. This texter, if commercial vacant land is adjacent to where the business is currently, needs some sort of feedback. Is there? Okay, maybe this is feedback. That's complicated. I'll send that to you later. What if the lawyer died before the document could be stamped and the home was purchased under the first home stamp tax exemption policy at the time?
Okay, and so if you have the document, submit it, and then you can pay I think first home.
They'll have to go through First Home Portal to receive the exemption, and then once they would have granted the exemption, then they would present the document to VAT Stamp for zero rating, VAT zero rating.
Okay. Maybe that's what the other person was asking about.
Yeah. So first home is VAT zero rated,
yes,
but it has to still be stamped.
This person says, I paid property tax via wire transfer, sent an email, took 6 months for the receipt. Why does that take so long?
So there's some omissions on the wire transfer, and we're asking individuals to follow the instructions on it. Not placing the assessment number. You pay from your company instead of your individual, and then we have to do a search, or our staff in relations with RBC has to do a search to figure out who who sent the money, and we confirmed that we received it, or you paid it from a USD account into a B dollar account, and some of the information from the sending company is not given to us. The main thing I ask individuals with wire transfers to ensure, place your assessment number. In that line, don't put a bunch of words, your name and Jesus save and all that. Put your assessment number. If you're paying the bill, put your assessment number. Don't send money, and thank you for keeping records, but then we have to track it. And what happens also is if that is not there on the document, we then have to go back to the bank and find out if that money was sent back to the client because they failed to give the information. You might send it from Scotiabank system, might not speak to RBC system the same way. And so we have to do some searching and then confirm that we received the money or the funds was sent back by RBC to the client.
And especially those ones that are coming from the United States, like Chase Bank or some of those, Bank of America. Make sure especially that the assessment number is placed on that wire transfer.
And so if you're using your company to pay your individual, sometimes we can look at search and say, oh, Chester, this is Chester name. And we can't assume Chester's paying Chester's bill. You have to place the assessment number in there.
We're talking with Dexter Fernando and Latoya Albury with Department of Inland Revenue. All right, so earlier in the week we had the head of BRIA, the Bahamas Real Estate Association, on, and she was talking about rogue agents. And so, as a result, this texter, great show, very informative with Inland Revenue and calling you all the Bahamian IRS. This is very, very interesting and eye-opening. But these talks about real estate lawyers and unstamped land documents have sadly turned me off from wanting to purchase real estate in the Bahamas. Seems like too much of a hassle or unsavory dramas. Oh boy, what do you say to people who are like, this is too much, let me just rent and stay in my lane?
We have some reputable attorneys out there. There are some good lawyers out there. You just need to identify them. They do their work thoroughly. You can contact them. If you purchase a piece of property, just contact them and they'll make sure that the transaction follow through. And now that you have contacts for the Department of Inland Revenue, just give us a call and say, hey, listen, I just purchased a piece of property. Has my property been declared with real property tax? Do I have an assessment number? Is there anything owing on my property? So you can contact us.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. I'm not putting the burden on the Bar Association. It's in your invoice.
Yes.
If you don't see that transaction in the invoice, the assumption is you are responsible for it. Now, if you see it in the invoice, then you know the responsibility is that of the lawyer.
So if you bought property in the last, 3-5 years, do you need to upload anything to you? Even if you don't owe anything, do you still need to upload anything to Inland Revenue? Because you're changing your system, things are going digital, you got new stuff.
Well, like I said, as you are bringing it for conveyance, when you upload the conveyance, everything that should be going to the Registrar General needs to be there. So if you're saying it's Chester's property, Chester's location, Chester should also show me exactly his passport, because Chester's daddy might have the same name.
Yeah.
He does.
And so we have all of these issues. And so Chester's passport isn't onto its conveyance. So how do we know? That's where we go back to 3 properties. And if Chester appears in our system, he's not going to get first home exemption. So we're asking to ensure that you have all the complete conveyance, when you submit the documents.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what if you purchased a property through a mortgage and you've completed payments, and after 30 years you learn the property is still in the original owner's name? What do?
That means that your documents were not stamped. And that means that real property tax information was not changed. So you have to start a process of getting the document stamped, having the information changed over. So if you have not paid the stamp or the VAT on that document, then you have to have a conversation with the attorney who did the transaction. And if you can't find that attorney, then you have to find another one. And then you may have to go back to the bank and say, listen, I need to borrow some money in order to pay the duties to have my documents stamped.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yes.
And that also means so you have the stamping and then you have real property tax.
Yeah. So once you would have paid the duty on that property, then you have to go to real property tax to declare that property in your name because it was in the previous owner's name. And God forbid, if the previous owners have taxes on
Oh
that,
my gosh.
you inherit that tax.
Just let inland revenue sell your place,
Because what?
Yes.
Oh, that happens a lot.
We find it doesn't happen often, but there are some cases
That's
you will
wild.
find. Yeah, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I go back to this in-house financing. Make sure that you are satisfied or comfortable with the in-house
Just
financing.
last week, I had someone call me, and they've already paid the bank for this piece of property, but the property is still in the old owner's name. How do I rectify that?
Yeah. Wow.
So,
all right. So business licenses, that's a whole show. And maybe we'll come back in a few weeks to talk about that. But people are still always complaining, have lots of concerns. Just really quickly, what you would say to somebody out there who is just frustrated with the whole process?
Don't give up. Don't give up. We need you. You stimulate the economy, so we just need to have that conversation to see exactly what are the growing pains with the amended or the new Business License Act of 2023. What was implemented was this estimate. Estimate can be a good thing at the end of the year because you might be in a credit position. So let's give the process a chance. Individuals must understand that they need to have a business license for each nature of business that they have, etc. In the past, unfortunately, a lot of individuals are going through saying, I have one taxi, I only made $1,000 or whatever. And so when you combine the licenses now, the system is more robust this year when we can totally see your total revenue. So if you reached a $100,000, it requires this. We've also adjusted. So even under $250,000, you don't have to give us accounting certification. Unfortunately, there's a little growing pain of what we're learning. There are a lot of individuals, 5 million and above, that have never gotten audited financial statements.
Wow.
And that's scary because how the line of credit gets from the commercial entity. Shouldn't their KY require these type of stuff? Or maybe a person with 5 million doesn't go through the bank. So it's a concern. We see a lot of individuals asking for extensions because this is their first year of getting an audit done. And that's very alarming to us.
What about new business licenses? Is it still taking a
No,
long
it
time?
should not.
I understand it can take 2 weeks to a month. To get a
No,
new
because
business license.
so we reached to the point where it's 21 days. We are rejecting quicker. Individuals are not taking their time. It's not all of the case the same thing. What we're seeing is a lot of individuals go to an agent, and the agent puts in for the trade name, putting in for a business license, knowing they have not gone to national insurance and did the company registration. Neither have they had an inspection by environmental health. So they place it in, knowing they don't have these other agencies' approvals. We are not the regulators. We are just responsible for approving the business license.
Right.
We're basically down to less than 100 licenses to approve, and that can happen approved within 2 days. So individuals are out there submitting cases that are limbo, are incomplete. And we're trying to say, you know what, guess what? We can reach the point where we just reject you and come back when you've submitted all of the necessary documents.
All right, we've got to do a whole show now. Hopefully, maybe in a few weeks. We'll call you back for that. Dexter Fernando, though, LaToya Albury, thank you so much for being here this morning and great information. Again, the deadline for the VAT Stamp Amnesty.
November 30th at 12 midnight.
Okay. And the VAT Holiday, back to school VAT Holiday.
That's correct. It starts on Sunday, August 18th, and ends on September 14th.
Okay. Thank you both for being here this morning. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and then be back with the wrap-up for Morning Blend Business today. Stay with us.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Kid Battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time.
I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Hey Bahamas, ready for some eye-openers? Check out 2 brand new books by our legendary 3-time PM, Hubert Ingram. Get the tea on his amazing leadership and courage to buck the system. These books are for you, the game changers, movers and shakers, and anyone passionate about our nation's roots and future. Available now at Dungalik Studios, Logos Bookstore, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, and Chapter 1 Bookstore. Score your copies today. Celebrate our amazing legacy.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business, wrapping up. Chester Robards, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Always a pleasure.
And you'll be here on Monday.
Yes.
Well, I take a couple days.
Right.
Folks, pick up today's National Guardian for the Guardian Business section. Great business news in there. This portion brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And just an update on the severe weather warning and the thunderstorm warning. The thunderstorm warning for south of Luther, Great Exuma, and North Cat Island has been canceled. But again, hazardous marine conditions expected throughout the weekend as a result of Ernesto, which is moving away from us, of course, but going to be problems for Bermuda, and we pray for them. Everybody be safe. Remember, downtown Nassau, Bahamas Gumbe Festival, and you might want to avoid the area if you're not going to the festival today. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you sometime next week. Enjoy. On the Clock is next.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.